Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is 2019. We're going to kick things off today by a video that was requested by one of my followers on Instagram. Shout out to Chris. Chris asked me, what are some of the things I don't like about the INFINITI Q60? Now, there's a couple of things I don't like, so I compiled a list of 5 things that I don't like, and I'm going to showcase them throughout this video and explain as to why I dislike those. So, at the very top of my list is one of those things that I think everyone pretty much already knows who modifies this platform, or even if you're a car enthusiast as to why did INFINITI do this to us. But overall, we have a 7 automatic speed transmission, the same variant that carried over from the previous generation Q50 3.7, the G37 and whatnot. One of the reasons that I didn't get a Red Sport is simply because, for one, it had the same transmission, and I really cannot justify the price increase getting a Red Sport and still having the same transmission. There was no performance gains on that part of the car, so that was one of those things where I just felt like it doesn't make sense. So let's just go ahead and get the sport model. So me personally, I would have liked a ZF8 or a dual clutch transmission. I know that adds weight, that adds cost and stuff like that. This wasn't really targeted as a super sports sedan or coupe from the beginning. It's more so, I think right now it stacks in the mid-level of the segment compared to everyone else. But it keeps it from being at the top. There's certain things I'm going to be naming off in this video that I think keeps this car from being right where it should be, and it has the potential to do that. So the first thing on that list is definitely the transmission. I feel like the 7-speed automatic is very laggy at times. Sometimes it can be unresponsive, and some days it can be the fastest thing that I've ever had in a car transmission-wise. So it's really hit or miss. I don't feel like it's consistent, and I also feel like it's missing those snap shifts that some automakers have, like Mercedes or BMW or Audi. Those automakers have better transmissions than their sedans and coupes. That's why they're one of the reasons why they're staying at the top of the segment. It's just they have those parts available to them in their platforms. Yes, they tend to be a little bit more expensive, but I mean, for someone who's spending, let's say you're getting a fully loaded Red Sport or fully loaded INFINITI coupe, whatever, sedan or coupe, it doesn't matter. If you're gonna get something that fully loaded, why not get the best of the best to compete with the best? Now, I can't answer those questions. I'm only looking at it from an enthusiast point of view, not a consumer point of view. Obviously, a lot of you guys who may be watching the video may be consumers. I completely understand. Some of you guys may never even modify this car, but in my case, I decided to do so, and I felt as if I needed more in order to be able to get the most out of this platform, and I felt the Red Sport should have had that. But agree to disagree. It's still a great car, great transmission. It goes A to B, but it could definitely be improved. I wanted a rear-wheel drive model initially, and when I found out that these did not come with a LSD or VLSD like the previous generations and the G37, 370Zs, etc., I was very disappointed, and I did some research as to why INFINITI or Nissan did not decide to put an LSD in this car, and their answer to that was something new called active trace control. So to keep it short, active trace control, pretty much if you're cornering and the car feels as if it may lose control, you're on the edge where what's physically possible, it'll use the brake pads in the rear on whichever corner it needs to use it on to brake slightly to keep you in control. Now, with that being said, there have been reports of people wearing their brake parts. I mean, their brake pads are wearing within 10,000 miles. You're using your brake pads, changing them once or twice, and that should not be the case to simply not put an LSD in a sports sedan or a sports coupe. I felt that was one of those things where INFINITI really cheaped out on, and we should feel robbed. For those who are enthusiasts, I know you guys are feeling it. Now you're gonna have to spend $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 on a limited slip differential aftermarket option plus install costs and whatnot, unless you do it yourself. But I think still the price is hefty for what you have to spend just to get that fun factor out of the car. Although limited slip diff is very useful, especially for rear-wheel drive cars. You guys can get a lot of control, gain a lot of control if you're into cornering or like going to the track and stuff like that. It'll give you a lot more control as opposed to an open diff. Those one-wheel POs will get you in trouble. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, number 2 on the list is the limited slip differential. Now, next up on the list, it is the infotainment system. Now, this infotainment system has come a long way. I previously had a 2014 Q50 3.7, and the infotainment system on that thing was a nightmare. It was super slow. the screens will randomly pick a time to go black and won't come back sometimes for a day. It was highly unresponsive. It took a long time in between clicks, and overall I was very dissatisfied with the infotainment system altogether. So today, I mean, as you guys can see, this is pretty responsive overall. It's pretty quick. So compared to the last generation, this has come a long way, but I still feel like these two screens, while it does look, you know, really badass from like the first couple times you look at it, I feel like it might be a little bit unnecessary. I could do without the two screens, and me personally, I just need one screen with everything on it, and perhaps I need more knobs. I'm the type of person that likes knobs in their car and buttons as opposed to a touch screen. So I don't know if that's, you know, some of you guys may disagree with me on this, but that's perfectly fine. I think that one screen would have been enough. Another place where I feel like they teased us is this this performance meter that they added on here, which you can check your fuel consumption, fuel flow, and G-force. Now, I don't know about a lot of you guys. If I'm cornering, I am not checking my G-force or anything like that. So there's a couple other screens, if I can get to them. There we go. Oh, too far. So there it goes. You can check your cornering G's, compass, steering input, and it's not even that accurate. It takes a while, it's laggy, so it's useless. I mean, who just looks at this stuff while they're driving? I certainly don't. So I feel like they teased us with this. I could have done with entirely this without this bottom screen down here. So yeah, number 3 on the list is this infotainment system. I feel like it's completely unnecessary to have both of these screens. It could be refined in a lot of ways. Now, as you guys can see, I have a little over 12,000 miles, almost 12,500 miles. Now look at my driver's seat. I don't even wear jeans a lot of the times when I get in this car, just to not even put anything that's like coarse against the seat, because the leather quality getting in the car, apparently it's been scratching on any type of like jeans or anything like that I wear, or belts or anything like that, and it's been eating at the leather really bad. And this leather gets conditioned every 2,000 miles. I keep it fresh, I clean it, it gets conditioned, and it's still getting into this, you know, these cracks are still appearing, and I don't think this should be happening for you know, for this car. I feel like these seats are really nice, they hug you really well, but the fact that the leather quality right on the corners there, it's peeling off, I think it's a little bit disappointing. So I'm gonna go and take it to the dealership and see what they say. I doubt they'll probably replace it. I have heard people that have gotten their seats replaced, but other than that, I don't think it's acceptable. So that's number 4 on the list. Now guys, last but not least on the list, we have the interior lights. I know it's really small, but I'm really picky, and I'm gonna call that number 5. The Q60 really does not have any other interior lights, and if you have tinted windows like I do, by the way, that is 3% vinyl tint or ceramic coated tint, whatever it is, and there's no lights back here. I mean, it's 5:20 p.m. right now, the sun's going down, and it's already really dark on here. The camera may pick it up actually better than it actually is, but it's really dark, and the only 2 lights that I have are these 2 lights right here. The footwells, my 2017 did not come with lights in the footwells, like I've seen some of you guys' models do have them. So let me know in the comments, what model is it that comes with the, or what trim, what package, whatever it is that comes with the footwell lights, or is that something I can install? Because I really do not know how to get them, and I need them. So I'm missing the footwell lights, and I only have these 2, which really, it's really nice. They're directional. They light up your side, or you know, your passenger side, but they really do not light up the entire cabin as like I would have liked for it to do. So at least a center light back here somewhere, but you know, we don't see that in here. So now let me know in the comments if you guys agree or disagree. These 5 things that I've named off, I feel like those are the 5 things that are keeping me from being 100% in love with this car. I mean, I love it in its way. I like it a lot, I drive it a lot, I enjoy modifying it, but at the end of the day, it's just something that I could see myself saying, damn, I bought the perfect car. No, that's not the case. I bought a great car, and I'm not trying to, you know, discredit anyone here. I'm simply giving you guys my opinion, as always, my unbiased opinion. So let me know what you guys think. I really think this car has a lot of potential. Of course, with aftermarket parts, it can be what it was supposed to be from the factory, but it's something that I feel like Infiniti should maybe thought of considering how well their G35s, their G37s, their 370Zs have done throughout the years in the market, with all the enthusiasts that buy that platform all the time. So with that being said, guys, this video is over. Thank you for tuning in. I apologize for the lack of light. It is getting late, well, 5 p.m. and as you guys can see, the sun is going down. So I'll see you guys in the next one.